So let's just get straight into it. I'm going to share my presentation. And once I do that, unfortunately, I won't be able to see you, but it's a short presentation. So hopefully I can capture attention for the next 25 minutes. Great. So this is me in 3. So just 3 points about me, because I want to give you lots of information that you will find helpful, not just talk about myself. So I was a pharmacist in London for 7 years, and then I moved to Germany in 2020 because my husband got a job out here, and I learned to become a copywriter and also a video creator. So I am a YouTube health creator. So I create health information videos, which are evidence-based and accessible to many people. And I'm also now a coach for people who are interested in communicating health topics on YouTube. And one of my biggest things is also upholding really high health information standards. So I'm part of the Patient Information Forum, also known as PIF. And I'm a trusted information creator, which means that I've been assessed to meet their high quality health information standards. So I've worked with the NHS. You might have seen videos of me on their YouTube and Instagram. Also with the YouTube Health, I've done some presentations, and I'm also part of the WHO FIDE's community of health creators. So here's what you'll learn in the next 20 minutes. So why YouTube is an untapped opportunity, 5 steps to create your first YouTube video, and the 3 most important numbers on YouTube if you want to grow a YouTube channel. But the focus of this kind of workshop, if you like, is to get you creating videos on YouTube and why you should be doing that. So YouTube is the world's 2nd biggest search engine after Google, who owns YouTube. So if there's only one thing that you take away from this presentation, it's that if you want to be anywhere on the internet, it's on Google and on YouTube. So YouTube is the #1 platform for sharing video content. And I found this interesting statistic where 90% of marketers will share their content on YouTube, and only 70% on Facebook, 66% on LinkedIn, and 65% on Instagram. And this is in 2024. And 93% of marketers have said that they've got new business from video content shared on social media. So creating videos and putting them on YouTube does give you visibility, and it's also one of the highest, most trusted platforms to post your content. So you're more likely to trust information if it's on YouTube. You go there to find things out or look for professionals, and it's also a lot less competitive compared to other platforms. Video is big business in general. So people spend 88% more time browsing on websites that have videos, and 59% of senior executives prefer video content over text when both options are available. So if you are trying to promote your freelance business, or any business for that matter, if you have video content, that's already giving you an advantage over your competitors who do not have video content. So video helps you position yourself as an authority in your topic, and also gives you the ability to visually represent what you do as a business, as a freelancer, and in order to also give people the opportunity to kind of buy into you, become familiar with you before you've even jumped on a video call to have those kind of initial talks. So moving on swiftly, here are 5 steps to create your first YouTube video. So I'll cover writing a script, filming, editing, and publishing, and then also one more step that you want to take to kind of polish everything off and make sure that your video gets the attention that it deserves. So when it comes to script writing, you want to keep your script really simple, especially if it's your very first video. So if you haven't posted anything on YouTube before, then your first video should introduce who you are, what you do, and why I should listen to you as a viewer. And you should also explain what success you have had already. And this can include things like case studies. So include examples of who you've worked with, kind of like at the beginning of this presentation when I told you I worked with the NHS and I'm part of the Patient Information Forum. And then at the very end, you should always include how to get in touch. So have a call to action and make that just one action, because if you give people too many options, then they won't know what to do and they're likely not to do anything. So your call to action could be go to my website and contact me, or click on this link to download a free guide. And then you can get their email, and that will be a lead for you as a freelancer or for your business. So when you're filming, the number one tip I can give is to always have some notes or a teleprompter. So when you film, just use your phone or your webcam. And if you have got a phone, try not to hold your phone and then just have it in your hand and shake it around, because that's really difficult to watch. Make sure you put it somewhere where it can sit still, maybe on a tripod or even on a pile of books. Some people will have a laptop or a computer with a webcam. I think we all do by now. And especially if you're doing work online, you probably have a lot of video calls. So you can also just use your webcam to film a video. You do not need to have super high production quality video anymore. As long as you can speak clearly and you include subtitles or captions or both if you can, then that is what is going to capture people's attention. It's going to be you talking about who you are, what you do, and why people should listen. So when you have your script and you've written it, make sure you practice it. And you'll find that when you practice your script, you might make changes. It's better to practice your script and make those changes before you get ready to film, because your first few takes are not going to be perfect. And you might find that in between filming, you're going to end up editing your script. So do that practice and editing first and then film, because filming will take a lot less time and it'll be much easier to edit your video as well. You want to emphasize specific words. So if you're going to be talking for a while, then try not to sound too monotone, because that can lose people's attention. And you can also use your hands as well. I love to talk with my hands, and you can use your hands to explain things as well. So for example, with numbers like number 2, or if you are explaining one thing and another thing, you can use your hands to kind of place them in someone's imaginary space. You don't need a fancy light and you don't need a fancy microphone. You can get one for cheap off Amazon or somewhere like that. And natural light is more than enough for your first video if you've never filmed before. So sit in front of a well-lit window, hopefully when it's a sunny day, and use notes on screen, or you can download an app as a teleprompter. So you can have a teleprompter on your computer and place the words as close to the camera as possible so it doesn't look like you're reading, because people can tell, they can watch your eyes going side to side. And also similarly on your phone, you'd want the teleprompter to be as close as possible to the camera. And I use Riverside as a teleprompter on my computer, and I use Prompt Smart as a teleprompter on my phone. So play around with different apps, see what you like, and most of them are pretty cheap or they're completely free. And always make sure that you look directly at the camera, because people need to read your lips, but also they want to see your facial expressions and they want to see that you are paying attention to them. Because as soon as you look away and break that eye contact, it makes it look like you're no longer interested in talking to them, even if it's a recorded video. So when it comes to editing your video, you can actually edit your video for free on software like Canva, which is like a web browser. You can also download the desktop version, but you do need to be connected to the internet to use it. And you can also add music from the YouTube audio library. So YouTube does have a copyright system. So if you upload something and you don't own it, then you could get a copyright strike, but you're not really too worried about that if you're just making your first video. And they do make audio available for free in their library, so you can pick from their music if you want background music. And if you do put background music, make sure that it's not louder than you. So people need to be able to hear your voice as the primary audio. And so make sure that you actually lower the sound of the music if you have that in the background. So you can download free editing apps, and you might need to pay to remove a watermark. So just a heads up on that. And you can edit either on your phone or desktop. Personally, I recommend you edit on desktop because you can see everything better and it stops you from having to squint on your tiny little screen on your phone. So I've been there, I've done that, and now I never edit on my phone anymore. And as I've said before, doesn't need to be flashy editing. Focus on the clarity of the audio. And if you're worried about your audio not sounding great, then you can use an online tool like the free Adobe vocal enhancer. They've got like a free kind of podcast studio where you can upload your video and then you can enhance using their AI tool to make your voice clearer and remove any background noise. You should also add your brand colors and fonts to kind of make sure that it's your brand, it's a video made by you for your business. And you can also add subtitles for free, again, using the Adobe subtitles generator. Again, it's just a website. You upload your video and then you can choose specific styles. You can edit the colors and also the fonts. And make sure you include videos and photos of your work. So video is the only medium where you can kind of show and tell and explain as you've got something on screen, rather than text, where you can include some pictures and maybe some short videos on the side to kind of explain the text. But the advantage of video is that you can express yourself and you can emphasize certain words and you can explain things and point to things. So there's a huge advantage to creating videos for your business. They'll become assets in the long term. And if you build your video library, then that's something that will continue to get you views and attention as you grow your business. So when you publish your video, you need to have a Google Mail account, and then you sign in to YouTube, and then you just click on your little bubble and you create a YouTube channel. So think about what you want your YouTube channel to be called. It could be the name of your business. So it could be, I don't know, Virginia's freelancing business. And that tag is something that you can change in future, but I think you can only change it every 14 days. So stick to something and it will change it. Now, one of the cool things about YouTube with their channel tags is that if you change your name at any point in future, wherever you have tagged yourself, it will change the tag as well, which is really awesome because you don't need to worry about all of your legacy tags that you've had on previous comments and links and things. So people can tag you in their video on another channel. For example, if you go on a podcast or if you collaborate with someone on a video. So then you just click create to upload a video, and make sure you add a title to your video. Your video needs to be what your video title needs to be what your video is actually about. So if it's an introduction to your business, then call it that. Don't give it a random name or a clickbait title where you are just trying to get someone to click on it. In the very first days of YouTube, that used to work, but now it doesn't. So YouTube is less likely to recommend your video if you use clickbait titles or thumbnails. You can add links in your description on your YouTube video, which is something you can't do on most other platforms, especially short video platforms. So you can include links. So your social media links, they will automatically turn into like social media bubbles, and also any kind of call to action links. So try not to include too many links, but if you include any links at all, make sure you actually write a description of where the person will go when they click on that link. So you're not just copying and pasting a link, you're actually writing a description and then put the link underneath to say, my website, my portfolio, or check out my LinkedIn here, or check out my other channels here. You can also include timestamps on your video. So timestamps are specific points in your video where you switch topic. So in your introduction video, you can split it into 5 timestamps. So you can have who you are, what you do, people that you've worked with, and the things that you offer, and then your call to action at the end. So that helps break up the video so people can see all the different segments, if you like, and YouTube otherwise will create them automatically, and it will call them chapters, but they might not be accurate. So I always recommend, if you do have quite a long video, that you segment it yourself. And then tags, which are kind of like hashtags, but they're not, because you have 500 characters that you can use for each video, and you add all of the kind of relevant words that you want people to search for to find your video. So always tag your name, your business name, and anything else that you do. So if you are a freelance YouTube coach, then make sure you put that as a tag. And think about your tags when you're writing your script as well, because what you say in the video should match up somewhat to your tags. And you can also include any words in different languages or any common misspellings or other common terms for what you might be talking about. You can create a thumbnail using free Canva templates. So a thumbnail is like the cover image, and it's normally like a big horizontal landscape picture, and you should always put your face on it and then a few words saying what your video is about. So people use the thumbnail and the title of your video to kind of understand what it's about. And then you can add end screen elements and related video cards to your video as well. So end screen elements are actually things that you can stick on top of your video that people can click on. So that could be to a next video, or if you get the 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers, you can join the YouTube Partner Program and you can actually add an element where people can click out to sign up to your newsletter or go to your website or your portfolio. So related video cards are other videos that you've created and you can actually link them. So if you're talking about something in your video and you've got a video which explains that in more detail, then it's an opportunity for you to link that video within your video. So an information card will pop up and people can click that. So the final step when you're creating your first YouTube videos is to then take the URL link of your YouTube video, which is unique, and you can embed your video on a landing page on your website or anywhere else that you want to. And you should also add your video on your featured LinkedIn section. And you can then start to think about creating more videos to build your authority in whatever topic you want to be known for, and also build a link tree. So you can include multiple links on your YouTube channel, but if you ever want to change any of those links, you have to go and manually change each link. So I recommend you just have a link tree, and you can create that for free. And you can also collect the data on what people are actually clicking on your link tree. And that's really insightful for you because, for example, I have a link tree on my LinkedIn and also on my YouTube website channels, and I can tell what people are clicking on, so I can do more of that. So just as a friendly reminder, long videos are better than short videos for building authority. So if you're creating lots of short videos, they might be seen as kind of very surface level content, very much entertainment, and also it's very forgettable content as well. So whenever you kind of sit down and watch lots of very short videos in succession, you're very unlikely to remember who created that video or even remember in any detail any of the videos that you watched. But if you watch one long video, you're building more of a kind of concrete relationship with the person that you're watching, and you're kind of buying into the ideas that they are presenting to you. So every video that you watch nowadays is kind of like a video sales letter. So YouTube is ideal for searchability and accessibility because it's got the most features for people to actually enjoy your video. So they're bringing in things like dubbing, so you can actually listen to videos in different languages, and you can also translate the captions automatically as well. So there are no other platforms that allow you to translate the captions, and that's automatically generated. So I get more than 20 different languages of people watching my videos on YouTube, and that's all through YouTube automatically translating my captions. And so you can reach a much wider audience. And also, it's about getting the attention of the right audience for you. So when you are creating a video, you really want to think about your marketing in terms of who you want to attract and who you want to watch your video, and if that video is actually going to improve your relationship with them so that they're more likely to think of you when they need your services as a business. So what are the 3 most important numbers on YouTube? So the great thing about YouTube is that it gives you much more data and analytics compared to other platforms. So the first thing you want to look at is your watch time. So how long are people actually watching the video for? Do they just watch it for a few seconds, or are they actually really invested and they're watching quite a lot of it? So YouTube runs on watch time. It's the lifeblood of YouTube. So the more people watch you, the more YouTube will suggest your videos to other people who will also be interested in that thing. So percentage watch time is kind of building on top of that. So if you have a really long video that's 30 minutes and somebody actually watches 10 minutes of it, that is huge compared to someone who's only creating really short videos and people aren't watching very much of it at all. And another thing that YouTube looks at is the retention in the first 30 seconds. So if there's any part of your video that you're going to put a lot of effort into editing, it should be in the first 30 seconds, because most people will watch the first 30 seconds to understand what your video is about, and then they'll make a decision as to whether or not they want to watch it. You don't need to use the whole 30 seconds as an introduction. You can actually use it to lay out what your video will be about. So it's kind of like your little sales pitch in the first 10 seconds, and then just get straight to the point, because people have clicked on your video as you've kind of made a promise in your thumbnail and the title of your video to say, this is what it's going to be about, this is what you're going to learn, and you need to deliver on that promise as soon as possible. So I want to give you two concepts to think about. Instead of the number of views, think about the value per viewer. So even if you have a really small audience, if your audience is really engaged in what you are saying, then they are more likely to convert into sales or potential future business partners. And instead of trying to go viral, think about your return on views. So if 10 people watch your video and 2 of them reach out to you and they become your clients, then that is a huge return on views. So YouTube wants viewer satisfaction as kind of the biggest metric. And so that's why watch hours is very closely linked to that. So people are more satisfied if they're watching your videos for a long time. So in terms of using YouTube as a business vehicle, you are doing social media marketing if you're putting your videos on YouTube, but also you are collecting data wherever you put that YouTube video. So you can see where people are watching your video. If you embed it on a website or you put it on LinkedIn, YouTube will actually tell you that people are coming from LinkedIn, or they're coming from a website, or they're coming from Google, or they're coming directly from YouTube. So it tells you where people are coming from to actually watch your video. So as a final note, I want to say that the sooner you start, the faster you get results, because there are a lot of people who are unlikely to create a YouTube video, but the people who are the ones with the action advantage. So if you take action now, then you can start to learn how YouTube works and how videos can actually benefit your business and you getting the clients that you want, the clients that you're looking for. People take YouTube very seriously because it's a high authority website, kind of like LinkedIn. And so if there were 2 places that you wanted to post videos, it would be LinkedIn and YouTube. And I would go for figuring out YouTube first. And then once you get good at video on YouTube, you can transfer those skills and do videos anywhere. And again, the URL link is just indispensable because you can just put that anywhere. You can put that in your newsletter, you can put that on your website, and you don't have to pay for hosting. So now it's your turn to ask me anything. And just before we do that, as part of this session, I'll also be emailing you a free checklist to say thank you for attending today. You've also got my email, which is hello@virginiachachati.com.
Thank you, Virginia. I believe we have one question from Paul. So let me just read it out. So for the sake of everyone who's not in this session and is going to listen to the recording. It's a copyright question about doing, for example, film commentary videos. I have seen many YouTubers showing a few seconds of actual Hollywood films in their videos to comment about them. But isn't that a copyright strike? And also, how do they just get the footage? They must have downloaded the footage somewhere, which isn't allowed either, I would assume. What is allowed for these case studies, for covers and commentary videos? Can I just insert copyrighted material into my videos? Very interesting question.
Yeah, this question comes up a lot. And actually, I was helping a client with their monetization application. And I was reading through the community guidelines. And ultimately, if you have a video that you want to use, which is a clip from somewhere else, then you can use it as long as you remove the original audio and you can put your own commentary on top. There are some cases where the copyright owner won't allow that. So then you could go to them directly to ask for a license to use it, or you can go to a website which has all of these types of clips, and you can actually download them and use them in your video using that license. So you'll tend to find that the really big, really popular YouTube channels will have loads of clips from movies and other videos and things like that. And it's because they've now got the funds to actually buy those licenses and pay for a subscription to actually use that footage. So I hope that answers your question. So yeah, so if you do use something without permission or you don't do a voiceover on it, then I would not use it because you're likely just to get a copyright strike. And if you're unsure, you can actually just upload your video with that copyright material and see if YouTube will give you a copyright strike before you publish it. And then it will be, you can set it as unlisted. So there are 3 different ways you can upload a YouTube video, either privately, unlisted, or public. If it's unlisted, it means that it's not searchable. If it's private, it's not searchable and only you can see it unless you put someone's email in for them to see it. And if it's public, it means everyone can see it. So upload your video as unlisted or private to see if it gets a copyright strike.
We have a lot of very interesting questions. I'm very happy to see it. So the next question is from Linda. Could you talk about search engine optimization?
Yeah, so search engine optimization is really, really, really a huge kind of opportunity on YouTube, because if you type anything into the YouTube search bar, it will tell you the most common search terms on YouTube. And if you type in anything onto Google, you can see the most common search terms on Google as well. So because there's a lot of crossover between YouTube and Google, with Google trying to find YouTube videos to give you the answer, I would recommend researching on Google and YouTube themselves for keywords that you want to target, that your audience might be searching for, and make videos around that. So include the keywords in your title, your description, in your scripts, in your tags, anywhere you can put a keyword. And you can use keyword tools as well, but I think the keyword tools tend to focus on Google search results, so not so much YouTube. So YouTube is very much an untapped opportunity if you are targeting search terms. And that's how I get views on my health channel, because I target YouTube search terms.
Thank you. Now we've got a question from Sonia. How to get out of the struggle to get out there your first video? I have been for years wanting to upload, but always feeling that videos I'm thinking might already be out there. How do you suggest the first step?
Yeah, so the first step would be just to not think about it too much, because if you overthink it, you will never do it. And so that's why I talk about the action advantage. The sooner you start doing something, that gives you the advantage over your competitors who may be in a similar business. And also, if you're worried about things that are similar to you, then you can search on YouTube to see what's been uploaded in the previous year even. So you can actually go to YouTube search and then click on filters, and you can see what people have been searching for in the past year and see if there are any similar videos. And if there aren't any, then it means that you'll be the new and fresh one. So that should hopefully encourage you to create that video. But also, as humans, we love to watch more than one thing, even if it's about the same topic. So make sure you just put your video out there.
Thank you. And now, how can I use my YouTube channel for transitioning medical writers to attract clients who would hire me to create video content for them? That's a question from Tanya.
You might need to pivot your channel if you want to attract clients to create video content for them. So if it's currently about transitioning medical writers, then you might want to start creating videos for a different audience and then stick to that. So YouTube likes it when you have a very specific topic on your channel, because then it's easier to recommend your channel. And then also, when people watch one video, they will want to watch another video on your channel which is related to that. So if you're thinking about trying to attract clients who will hire you to create video content for them, then talk about your skills in creating videos and why they should choose you. And again, any case studies, any kind of previous videos that you've created which have done really well.
Thank you. And Eleanor is asking, could you convince someone like me who's intrigued to explore YouTube but put off by the cringe factor?
Hi, Eleanor. Thank you for coming. So anything you do online is cringe, whether it's video, whether it's text, whether it's posting a photo. So you kind of just have to put it out there and see what happens. And actually what you'll find is that 99% of the time you'll get positive feedback, because a lot of people are very unlikely to ever upload a video of themselves or even post online. So if you're comfortable with posting online, then posting a video of yourself is just the next step. And it doesn't have to be a massively long video. And if you're not comfortable with being on video, then I have invited you to my podcast. So you've got no excuses for being on videos. So go on a podcast, go on someone else's channel just to see what it feels like. So you're just being on video. You don't have to worry about the editing or anything like that. So if you want to experience being on video, and then when you film yourself, just give yourself, you know, a goal of being on camera for 2 minutes. Write your script, your 2-minute script. It will probably be about 10 sentences, and then use your teleprompter, deliver it, and then put it out there. And then if you want more help, you can always ask me, because I'm your friend. I'm also a YouTube coach. So I'm more than happy to kind of help you get over that cringe factor.
Thank you for that. And we have a question from Nealep. What are the opportunities for freelance medical writers on YouTube?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I do have a medical writing background, and the opportunity is that there are lots of health channels that are being created now, because YouTube is doing one of the first things that a lot of other other social media channels are not doing, which is acknowledging healthcare professionals for being actual experts and giving you a badge on your channel which says, you know, this channel is run by a UK licensed healthcare professional. So there's an opportunity there to work with healthcare professionals to write their scripts, come up with creative ideas, and hopefully that can help you collaborate with them to grow their channel, because although you are a health expert, it's unlikely that you're going to be an expert in medical writing, and writing scripts, especially health information scripts, is something that a medical writer can help them with.
Thank you. And the last one so far question is, I have different profession interests in gardening, art, etc. Would it be better to create accounts for each theme, or is it also good to talk about them in one main account?
Yeah, great question. So if you really want to explore each of those in depth, I would say create each one as its own channel. So for example, I've got a medical writing channel called Write Clinic. I've got my health information channel for the public, which is called Pharmacist Virginia. And I've also got a health creators channel called Health Creators, which is a podcast where I talk to other health creators. So it would be really weird if I had all of those things on one channel on YouTube. But if you want to make a channel kind of like, you know, any YouTuber that's just starting out and you're not really sure which topic you want to focus on, then just create one channel, create lots of different content as an experiment and see which one you like best, or if you are getting lots of attention for a specific topic, and then make your channel about that. If it's going to be a hobby channel, then just make videos because you enjoy it. You just need one channel for that. But if you want to create multiple businesses or have multiple purposes, then create multiple channels for that. So that's what I've done.
Thank you. I have one question which I didn't put on chat, but I feel it might be relevant to, especially to, Juno community. So I believe we have a lot of members in the community who are not natural creators. So social media managers, designers, copywriters, these are people who create content every day, some sort of content. But there are also groups such as developers, project managers. So these are people who work on a daily basis. They work with something completely different, but they might be interested in starting to create content about what they do. Is there a good way to start research on what already exists apart from just watching YouTube for hours? Is there a good way to start?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So a great way to start if you are trying to see what the kind of market or the landscape looks like is to go to YouTube search and actually search for videos, but then also search on Google and click on the videos tab to see what videos come up. So Google does index other videos from other types of social media channels. And so you can see if there are lots of videos from a specific type of social media channel and there aren't any YouTube videos, then you know that there is a gap there. And if you start creating YouTube videos, then that will be prioritized because YouTube videos are higher quality, they're longer, and also Google will probably not admit this, but they're more likely to suggest a YouTube video, especially if you include all the details. So yeah, use the search function is always the easiest and first place you should go to. That's how I start every video when I'm looking for ideas.
Lovely, thank you. And we have one more question from Sonia. Do you have any way to find out who your potential audience are?
Yeah, so I can see the rest of that question, which is I work as a brand and motion designer for businesses and agencies. So I would say creating your own videos to show actually what you do is probably going to be easier than trying to find people to tell them what you do. So if you create videos about what you do and then you can search for those potential people, maybe on a professional platform like LinkedIn, then you can actually direct them to your YouTube and say, hey, I would really like to work with you. Here's some examples of my work. And you can send them some YouTube links and they'll already immediately see that you're more of a professional creator because you've taken the time to create YouTube videos about your work. So I would say, put your stuff out there, put your work in video on YouTube, and then you can actually share it with people on LinkedIn that could be your prospective clients. That's what I do. So I look for prospective clients on LinkedIn, and then the examples of my work and what I do in creating health information videos are all on my Pharmacist Virginia channel. And then also the medical writing channel is for people who are looking to get into medical writing.
And for people who are already creators and have a health portfolio, how do you reach new health clients? Asks Louis.
So I probably need more information to answer that question. So what do you mean by a health portfolio, Louis, if you're there? Oh, pharma clients. How do you reach new health clients? So if you're already a creator and you're looking for pharma clients, then I would recommend you talk about what you do. So talk about what you do in your video. And again, same strategy, find those potential clients on LinkedIn and show them what you do with videos. So if people can watch a video of you before they jump on a phone call with you, then they'll get a feel of who you are, what you do, and they'll build familiarity with you. So they'll know what to expect when they get on a video, because I know that we've all had this feeling as freelancers where you're chatting to someone and they have a photo, but then when they get on video, they look completely different and you don't know what to expect. So being real and being realistic is how you can reach new clients. So represent yourself fairly in your videos on YouTube, share those videos with people by reaching out to them directly on LinkedIn. And I mentioned LinkedIn because it's a professional platform. So most people will have a professional profile on there.
And that's a very good question. The next one, they're all great, but this one is quite pertinent. You recommended making a long video. How long is a long video?
Yeah, great question. So a long video can be any length as long as it is horizontal. So a landscape video. So it can be, I would recommend around 1 minute, 30 seconds as a minimum, but it can be as long as you like. So I think the limit for a YouTube video now is 12 hours, whereas before there was no limit. So people would upload like a 48-hour long video, which is crazy. So the longest video you can upload for free to YouTube is 12 hours. And if you are doing a short video and it's vertical, it will automatically go into the shorts feed, which is any video that is under 60 seconds. So if your video is over 1 minute and it's vertical, it will be indexed as a long video, but it's not a great experience for people who watch long videos and are expecting the kind of landscape format.
Would you say that there is a certain type of video or time that is too long for certain type of content?
Yeah, so if you're looking to monetize your YouTube videos in future, then you might want your videos to be a minimum of 8 minutes, because if your video is 8 minutes long, it means you can put multiple adverts in there. So it has more earning potential. That's if you want to monetize your videos. So that actually used to be 10 minutes, but YouTube reduced it to 8 minutes, which is interesting because it means that you've now got 2 minutes less that you need to do to actually reach the minimum for those multiple adverts to monetize your video. Generally, I would say most people prefer a video, or they're more likely to watch a video if it's between 3 to 5 minutes long, especially if they don't know you. And if you want to go into a topic in detail to really show off your authority, then that's anything that is at least 10 minutes or longer. But if it's over 30 minutes, it has to be a really good video, because more people are likely to watch it on TV. So YouTube is the only channel that is made for TV at the moment, and it's beating Netflix in terms of people are watching more YouTube rather than Netflix. And that comes down to, preference, accessibility, but also people cutting down on their expenses and their budget. So how can you reach more people? It's going to be through YouTube, especially if they're watching it on TV. And also YouTube is multi-screen, so people are likely to watch it on their phone, on their laptop or their desktop, and then also on their TV. But you're unlikely to do that with any other social media platform.
Thank you. Any other questions? Maybe someone would like to unmute themselves and ask a question, but feel free to use the chat as well. We still have a couple of minutes.
Hi, Virginia. It's Roy here. Thanks for your session. It's really fantastically informable. Could I ask a bit more about your tutorship on YouTube? I'd be really interested in following that through.
Yeah, thank you for asking this question. I swear I didn't pay Roy to ask this question. So in terms of my tutorship, I do face-to-face actionable steps in order to tutor or a coach, that I'm teaching you things that you will be able to use forever for the rest of your life. So whether that is how to design a thumbnail because you just can't figure it out, or whether that is how to get comfortable on camera because you just feel really awkward, or how to get better audio or better lighting, or how to write a script, or simplify your language, or emphasize your words. So these are all permanent skills that I teach, because I'm not here to string you along, and I don't want you subscribed to me for the next 10 years. I want to give you skills and actually set you free so that you can go and enjoy creating stuff and build your business without worrying about spending thousands of pounds on an agency to promote yourself. And
Right.
also you can pick as many sessions as you like. So it could be once a week for an hour, or it could be twice a month for an hour. And most people only need about 6 to 10 sessions at most. And yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tanya, you raised your hand. Would you like to ask your question?
Yes. Hi, Virginia. Thank you
Hi,
so
Tanya.
much for your... Well, my question is not about YouTube, but about other relevant platform. I hear a lot about, this generation hanging out on TikTok, that generation hanging out on Instagram, and those are also video-based platform. So if someone wants to prioritize, say, 2 of the video-based platform and be consistent on that, do you have any advice?
Yeah, good question, because a lot of people want to be everywhere at the same time, but you have to remember that you're just one person. So unless you're going to hire a team to go and repurpose all your videos, I would say take it one video at a time and really, I cringe when I say this word, but optimize for that platform, because you have to know a platform really well to it actually be worth putting that video on there in the first place. So some people will create something for Instagram, for example, and then they'll put it on YouTube, but they won't really optimize for YouTube. So there wasn't really a, advantage to putting it there. What I would recommend you do is build on one platform as much as you can. And when that's successful, and how you will know that's successful is because you'll start attracting the right people, and you will build an audience that's actually valuable on that platform. And then you can reinvest that time, you can repurpose that content and put it on another platform. So rather than trying to build for two platforms at the same time, build for one, become successful on that platform, and then build for another one. And you'll already have all of that you can repurpose on the other platform. So creating evergreen content is the best thing that you can do. So whether that is a how-to video or answering someone's question, those are examples of evergreen videos that you can easily repurpose in future. And I would, for example, my strategy was to build on LinkedIn and then build on YouTube second. So because I've got a strong foundation on LinkedIn, that gives me the confidence to go and build on YouTube, because now I've got an audience that will probably be interested in what I'm doing on YouTube. And I use YouTube as a portfolio as well. So doing too much on too many different platforms is not advised, but I would recommend LinkedIn and YouTube as a better strategy, rather than going somewhere which is really saturated and probably seen as an entertainment platform. And also there are restrictions on how people can contact you through YouTube and LinkedIn. Whereas on Instagram, you can get messages from everyone and anyone all at the same time. So you might just end up wasting a lot of time on a platform like that, unless you have something to sell, and you like writing lots of direct messages. So you can have more control over your kind of distribution of content on YouTube and LinkedIn. So I'd recommend sticking to one platform, building on that for maybe, it took me 3 years to build on LinkedIn before I even thought about YouTube. I kind of dabbled in it a little bit, but I didn't give it that much attention. But now I kind of have that LinkedIn foundation. I've gone into YouTube and kind of learned more about it. And that's my direction now. Yeah, Sonia.
Hi, thank you for your advices before. I wanted to ask you, how do you manage, because I'm seeing that you're doing like a lot of things at the same time, like you're a coach and also you're a copywriter and doing the YouTube. I'm wondering, how would you recommend people like us that we are like kind of full-time freelancing to also be kind of content creators? Because I feel it's a little too much sometimes, like you're having your own business, also you need to do content creation, LinkedIn I also do. So yeah. How would you advise doing that? It feels overwhelming, that's all.
Yeah, great question. So I am definitely a big lover of batch production. So preparation time is the thing that will save you time in future. So whenever I'm creating videos, I always try to write all the scripts at the same time. So I'll write 10 scripts and then I'll film 10 scripts and I will edit 10 videos and then I will schedule them out. And if I haven't got time to do that, or if I know that certain events are coming up, then I will leave gaps in my schedule so that I know, for example, this event, I'm going to write a LinkedIn post about it and link to the recording. So I didn't really post anything today because I know I'm working on a post. And everything you do can be content in future. So it depends on what your business flow is like. So if you feel like you haven't got enough work, you create more content to market yourself more. But if you feel like you've got loads of work, then you create less content because you don't need to get any more clients. But I would say that you should have something somewhere at least once a week to show people that you are still in business. Because one of the difficult things online is to know someone's availability, but also to know that they are actively doing stuff. And so for me, as I've built up my skills over time, it means that I am more efficient at creating videos, at writing posts, at communicating with people, at answering my emails and things like that. So if you're just starting out, focus on getting good at finding clients, and making videos is one way to do that. And then if you get really good at that and you really enjoy doing it, then that's an opportunity for you to become a coach in that, or teach a very specific skill that will help you have another vertical in your business, if you like. So I'm also a big fan of diversifying, which is why I do a lot of different things. But also I love learning a lot. So I'm always attracted to the new shiny skill that is really hard. And I love to learn. So that's one of the things that keeps me going and doing all the different things I do. So focus on getting comfortable in your business, and then have a creative outlet as part of your kind of marketing strategy as well. And limit yourself. You don't need to produce loads of content. It's all about the quality content and the purpose behind the content as well. So when I'm providing educational videos, I am nurturing my audience. So I'm showing them, hey, did you learn this new thing? Learn it from me today. And then in future, it means that they're more likely to come to me to learn something else, because they'll have questions. And so I'm kind of priming my future clients whenever I create a piece of content.
Thank you. That's valuable.
Yeah. Caroline.
Yes, hi Virginia. Just to add also to this question from Sonia, how much time did you invest in your first video, or how much do you remember how much time, or recommending taking how much time to work on all these steps for the video?
Yeah, so back in the day, like 3-4 years ago, I didn't know what I know now, which is why my videos probably didn't do that well. So when I was creating my first videos, actually, the thing that took the longest was actually me just doing the video, because I'd written the script, I'd practiced it, I thought about it, I got, I bought the tripod for my phone, I got a microphone, and then I was like, okay, now I just need to sit down and do it. But I kept avoiding it, so it probably took me months to do my first video, but it was only it was only 2 minutes long. And it's still there. You can see it on YouTube on my channel. But I would say for your first video, it's probably going to take you 1 or 2 hours, but think of your video as an asset for your business, because once you create that video, a lot of people are going to watch it over the next however many months or years. And that will be an example of who you are, what you do, and what services you sell. And of course, that video that you create is going to be you in that moment in time. And your next video is going to be better and better and better, because you will have had that experience of making that first video. So once you create the first one and see how many people view it, the kind of response that you get, then you will be more confident to create your next one. And that can be an educational video, or it could be an update to other services that you create or do for people. So I would say give yourself about 1 or 2 hours to write the script, practice your script, get ready so you look good on camera, and then film your video. Maybe it's 1 or 2 minutes long. Edit it, again, very kind of light touch editing, adding subtitles, adding music if you want, making sure your audio is clear, and cutting out the awkward face in the beginning and cutting out the switching off the camera at the end. And then you've got your video, you just upload it. And again, it's the fact that you can kind of reuse that content over and over again is what makes it super valuable to you. So investing that 2 hours means that you get, hundreds of hours of watch time in future, just from that one video to promote yourself.
So 2 days, right?
If it takes you 2 days,
really,
it better be an amazing video, and I'm sure it will be. So
thank you.
Yeah, Tanya.
Sorry, ladies, just be mindful of time, please. We have 2 minutes left and then we have to finish. So Tanya, this has to be, so after Tanya, unfortunately, we will have to take the conversation offline.
No worries.
Yeah, I'll be quick. Virginia, you suggested teleprompter and voice enhancer. Do you have any suggestions on what tools to use? You might have tried already a few.
Yeah, so I mentioned a couple. So there's the Adobe Voice Enhancer, which you can go online. You literally upload your video And then you can select how much of the background noise that you remove. So Adobe Voice Enhancer, I think it's called Adobe Podcast Studio or something like that. And then in terms of teleprompter, I use the teleprompter on Riverside, which is part of their program. But I pay for that every year. I think it's like £200 a year or something like that. And then on my phone, I use Prompt Smart, which again, I think is £100 per year. But you can use Prompt Smart on your phone and on the desktop. And Prompt Smart is great. I'm not being paid to say this, but Prompt Smart is great because it actually tracks your voice. So it will stop scrolling when you stop talking, especially if you want to add an extra point or something like that, which can happen because sometimes you might think of something you want to say on the spot in your video. There are other ones that you could try, but those are the ones that I use and would say I'm using right now, but who knows, there might be something different in future. So
Thank you. Thank you for the great questions, everyone. I love that this session has been so interactive. And Virginia, thank you so much for hosting. You shared so much useful information. If anyone ever needs to revisit, we have recorded it. We will edit it. We'll put it in the Freelancer Hub as always. And as you've heard, you are going to receive an email from Virginia with a free checklist to kind of keep everything in the memory as well. And feel free to connect in any way you can. So that's LinkedIn. For Juno members, that's also Slack. Thank you so much for joining, everyone, and hope to speak to you very soon at another event.